Hello everyone, Silent here. Welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition tutorial. In this one, I'll be showing you how to build a very simple, cheap, and very reliable sugarcane farm for your world. We are using yet another little flying machine to automatically harvest all of our sugarcane for us. So there is no bone meal being used in this farm whatsoever, and you can build this up to be pretty much whatever size you like. The current farm that we have in front of us here is 14 by 32, but you can expand this to be literally whatever size you want. You can have multiple flying machines, and it's honestly just really quite nice. So there's not all too much to really show about this farm. What you see is what you get. As you can see, the upper layer is extremely simple to build. Some sugarcane does get left on these leaves, but don't worry, that'll all get swept into these little trenches and picked up later on when the flying machine gets returned. On the ends of the farm, we have a little bit of a kind of leaf collection area just for our flying machine and also for additional sugarcane item collection. All of these will actually get collected by a hopper minecart down below. Underneath the bulk of the farm, we just have some more hopper minecart rails, and then on the other side of the farm, we just have a very simple dropper circuit for all of our hopper minecarts, and also a basic water stream system as well. Now, technically for this size farm, you don't need a water stream. You could just have one big old line of hoppers, but that is not really a good use of resources. And by building a water stream, you're actually kind of future-proofing your farm as well. You could easily expand this and not need to worry about your storage whatsoever. Thank you all very much for the build request for this kind of design. I had a lot of people asking me to make this style of sugarcane farm for the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, so thank you all very much for those comments. If you guys do ever have any feedback or suggestions or build requests, then do let me know in the comment section down below, because I am always reading the comments on the channel. And also, I wasn't originally planning on doing this style of sugarcane farm for Bedrock because this is more or less what gnembon has done for Java edition, except all of the redstone and actual fine details have had to been changed because, of course, nothing from Java actually works on Bedrock. So basically got to do a full redesign. Super fun. But yeah, there's going to be a link to gnembon's tutorial in the description down below. Definitely check it out. And also, we are using the two-way one-tall flying machine from Blazing King YouTube. Once again, this thing is always fantastic, and there's going to be a link to that tutorial in the description box down below as well. So before we hop into the tutorial, one more thing I want to say is that for some reason, sugarcane in Minecraft Bedrock 1.8 just grows so terribly slowly. It is so torturously slow that if you want to get some actual decent rates from this, I would suggest building about a 28 by 32 area farm, or basically just double what we have right here. But the tutorial that I'm going to do is for the, just basic 14 by 32 kind of standard farm. From there, it is extremely easy to expand it to the side, or lengthwise. There's really no limitation to how far you can go. Down in the description is going to be a full materials list for this build for your convenience, and we're going to start off with the general template, or just kind of like the general markers for your farm. So the basic idea is that we're going to have a 14 wide by 32 long area of sugarcane. Basically all of this right here is the 14 by 32 long area. So that's basically just going to consist of 14 wide of grass. Underneath of this, we're going to have our rail lines, and our pieces of grass are going to have, 1 block gap in between them. So it's basically going to be a stretch of 2, separated by some water, and then another stretch of 2, and underneath that's just going to be our rails. But counting from this first block right here, we're going to go down by 32 blocks, and this is going to be the final block that has sugarcane on it. And then we're just going to need a couple more blocks behind the farm for our flying machine dock and return station. And for reference, this over here is going to be the front of the farm, where we have our item output, our hopper clock, and our main flying machine kind of docking station right here. One thing I want to mention before we go further, this farm is, infinitely expandable in any direction you like, so don't worry about exact proportions or exact dimensions or anything like that. You can pretty much build it any size you like and it'll work just fine. But as you can see here, I did kind of mark out our 2 wide sections already. So each one of these is going to have a thing of grass above it, just like so. And we're going to start laying out our rails right now. So because you only get 2 sugarcane per crop, 1 hopper minecart can actually do multiple rows. So as you can see, our first one over here is just going to go back and forth for these first 3 sections right here. And we're basically going to do that for this next one as well. So we're just going to have 2 hoppers going out that way, a block right here, a powered rail, normal rail, and then we're just going to run a powered rail all along these edges here. Now, of course, you don't need to use a full-on powered rail. You could switch out most of this for normal rail, but for the tutorial, I'm just going to be using powered. So we can basically just run this all along, and then once you get to the end, just kind of run that into a block like so, and you'll be fine. And then you can just start powering these things on the sides with levers, turn back around, power the other side with levers, and that is literally as simple as that. We will worry about the rest of the item collection later, but get all of your rail lines in for your entire farm, and we can move on. So all of our rail lines are now in place, and I would suggest just going ahead and testing all of these just to make sure that you got everything correct, because we're actually going to go ahead and start covering all this stuff up now. And you just want to cover all of your main rail tracks with either grass or dirt or sand, whatever suits your fancy. It's not going to affect anything besides the looks of your farm. So go ahead and cover all of your rail tracks with grass, dirt, or sand. And now is also a good time to go ahead and install your walls too. So on the left and right side of your farm, you want a 4-block tall wall. Now we need to install all the water in this farm, and these are just going to be going right in between all of your sections of grass right here to actually, water all of your sugarcane. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. I would suggest maybe just having yourself some stairs like that and some lower half slabs, and then stairs on this side. And then what you can do is just put water sources in all of these. And that is actually a super safe way of having your water, because none of that is ever going to drip down. You can mine down here freely, and as long as you never break any of these blocks, nothing will get flooded. Apparently that doesn't update. Okay, apparently it's like super safe. Welcome to Bedrock. The bad part of this is that you need 1 water bucket per section, which is a little bit tedious in survival. So if you want, you could just let the water flow down, because it doesn't wash away levers, which is also kind of weird. But of course, beware of that washing away your rail. Either way, you just need to get a layer of water at this layer right here. And once you have in all of your water trenches, no matter how you decide to do them, just go ahead and cover up this whole layer right here with a layer of leaves. That way these blocks do not stick to your flying machine. Your mileage may vary on this part, but with this farm, we are ending with a line of grass and then a line of leaves instead of just like 1 line of grass. So we actually need to get water sources right here in order to hydrate this area. And this is super simple. All you need to do is get yourself some more stairs, and we're just going to be waterlogging these ones as well. And if you place them in this exact orientation, you don't need any outside blocks to contain all this water. It'll kind of just, stay there forever. So kind of just get your stairs in place just like so. And then you can fill all of these up with water sources. And then right here, you can actually go ahead and plant in all of your sugarcane. And then once you have that in on both sides, of course, go ahead and cover that with leaves as well. So now that the bulk of your farm is in place, we're going to start installing our flying machine. We're just going to go back over to the front side of our farm, of course. So start off with the right side of your farm, and you just want yourself a placeholder block right there. And then 7 slime blocks. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And observer right there. Sticky piston facing that way. Slime block right there. Glazed terracotta. Normal piston right there. Obsidian block. Glazed terracotta, and then just a few blocks down, just like so, and we'll worry about that in just a second. Get yourself another glazed terracotta right there with a sticky piston to the side of it, and then just 4 slime blocks like so. Another observer to the back side of this, so kind of like that, and then a piece of obsidian right there. And then just kind of extend this along by a couple of blocks, and it should end off with 1 extra gap, and then just put another placeholder block on the end of that. So now we're going to go back to this platform right here. You want yourself a repeater on 4 ticks, another one on 4 ticks, 1 more on 2 ticks, 2 pieces of redstone dust, a sticky piston facing upwards right there, and then an observer facing to the side right there on top of it. And now you want to finish off like the rest of the infrastructure for the end of the farm. And this is as simple as just wrapping a lip of leaves all the way around the top. You can then put whatever wall block on top of that one. And then you just kind of want to encase the rest of this area in leaves. You don't need to use leaves for most of this, but they're super cheap and it kind of goes with the whole green theme of the farm. So you might as well. And yeah, you basically just want to wrap them all the way around and have a nice little floor in here as well. So kind of just like so. That's now all fully enclosed. We're going to go ahead and fill in all of this as well. And then just kind of close that off. So everything should be fully encased. And occasionally you will have a couple sugarcane land in this area. It's not nearly as bad as the other side, but if you want near 100% lossless, you can also run a hopper minecart underneath this area right here. Now we're going to install the return station on the other side of the farm. So you basically just want to go on the inside of the farm and go one block to the right of your observer, and then just kind of follow this all the way to the back of the farm. And then just kind of go 3 blocks out from your leaf layer right here. No matter how you build the farm, you do want it to end on a line of leaves. Just a little side note. So then go out by your 3 and go up by 1. From here, you need to get yourself an observer right there. A normal piston to the side of it. A block behind it. A block down. Block up. And then another block down. Piece of redstone dust. And a repeater on 4 ticks. And then we can actually go ahead and activate our flying machine over here and see if our return station actually functions. And it seems to be working just fine as expected. So now what you should do is go ahead and get your flying machine back over to this area, but instead just park it. So remove that redstone dust, send it back over here, and then we can build the little leaf room that we need to around the thing. So now that the flying machine is parked over here, you can see how it should look in its resting state. And you basically just need to go ahead and build another little lip around this thing, just completely surround this edge in leaves. You can then also put your wall blocks on top of this wall as well. And then from here, just kind of start filling in areas with leaves. So this entire thing right here can be filled in. And then this floor needs to be filled in at the same layer as your dirt and stuff. And then just another wall along this edge. Pretty standard stuff. This wall should also be 3 blocks tall, so a little bit taller than your flying machine, just to contain any stray sugarcane. And we're also going to go ahead and put some more leaves in this area right here. Once you have all of this built up, I would also suggest building another rail line underneath these 3 pieces of leaf blocks, because not that much does get shot back here, so it's not technically that lossy. However, for how slowly the sugarcane does grow, you want to make sure it's as lossless as possible, so adding 1 extra hopper minecart back here is not going to be a big deal. So now you can send your flying machine back over to the other side just by placing down a button, no big deal. And now we're going to move on to our item storage and item collection. So basically everywhere that you have a hopper minecart and a couple of hoppers, you want to point that going into a dropper facing upwards with a small auto dropper circuit out the back side of it. And this is the entire circuit right there, nothing fancy whatsoever. But yeah, you basically just want to string up all these droppers with a line of packed ice, and that is basically going to automatically dispense all the items that go in there. And then we're just going to have a water stream. So this wall right here does need to be made out of glass. The reason for that is if it's not made out of glass, it can actually mess up the rails right there. So this wall right here should be made entirely out of glass, besides where you actually need it for the minecarts. And then everything else can be made out of whatever you want, but you need a wall on both sides, kind of just like so. And just bring that all the way along. Everywhere that you have a dropper, you want one of these circuits. And everywhere that you have a dropper as well, you want a slab up and to the left, and also just a water source on top of that dropper as well. And that'll create a really nice little item stream that pushes all the items to your storage system. Now we need the activation circuit for all of your minecarts, so we're just going to go ahead and add in an observer right here, and that is going to detect when your flying machine launches and also when it returns. You want a solid block behind it, a solid block down, just like so, and then just a couple pieces of redstone dust going down. That should clip through those leaves just fine. And then you want a repeater on 4 ticks right there, and basically just run this redstone line over top all of these solid blocks right here, and that should launch all of your minecarts when it's given a pulse. Once you have that redstone line in place, you can actually go ahead and get the little roof of your water stream in place as well. Very important to have a roof on this, otherwise you're going to be losing a ton of items. But that is actually your entire sugarcane farm completely completed, besides the fact that we need to go in here and actually plant in all the sugarcane. And now we can do the first official test harvest of this farm. Press the button, our flying machine will go on its way, harvest everything, and start activating all of our minecarts as well. Looking very fine. And there's just a few little last minute notes for this farm. Of course, you want lighting in here so that your stuff can grow at night, and also to prevent mob spawning. So just like sea lanterns or jack-o'-lanterns on every row, and then also in the ceiling as well. Really lights up the place, like way more than you need it to, but it also kind of looks nice. And then for our hopper clock down here at the bottom, I have this literally full of 5 stacks of items, and just going into a redstone torch observer, and that just activates our flying machine once about every 5 minutes or so. So that is the general setup you can do. And that is going to do it for this Minecraft Bedrock Edition tutorial. I do hope that you all did enjoy, and thank you very much for requesting this farm. Again, if you guys have any more farm requests or suggestions, then please do leave them down in the comment section. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this farm, then leave them in the comment section as well, because I always read all the comments on the channel. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please do leave a like on it. If you're new here, maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the comment section and in the next video. Thank you again for watching, and then there was silence.